Hi everyone and welcome to the Institute of Marxism-Leninism. Today, our 10th tutorial, how to create online games in Unreal Engine 4, and today we will create Startup class and initiate our database. Startup class is the most important class in any of the ASP.NET Core application. This class runs every time when our application starts and configure it. In this class, we load the settings file, add services, configure services, register dependency injection system for any of another classes, define MVC patterns, and much more. Now, if you open your application, your startup.cs file seems like this. Here we can see very simple startup.cs file. Here we just have one system. It's developer exception page to have more information about our errors, and here we have one road. It's not MVC road, it's just very simple road. When we open our website, we can see hello world text on your browser page. Okay, great. Today we need to create here next points. First, we will create the constructor where we load created in 8th episode upsettings.json file. We will load it to the configuration variable from the integrated out-of-box dependency injection system. Actually, we will load this our upsettings.json file with these variables into the configuration variable in this startup.cs class. Then we will register and create it in last episode engine manager as service in dependency injection system. Actually, in the previous episodes we created this engine manager class, and today we will include it into the dependency injection system, and we can get access to this class from any of another's our classes if we want. Register created in last episode main DB context as service in dependency injection system. Actually, register entity framework ORM system. Yep, it's class to works with our database. It's very simple. Then we will register edit in 7th episode as NuGet package identity system as service in the dependency injection system. Yep, this identity system is a system to help us for registration, authorization, authentication, and what about users? Yep. Then we will customize identity system service. Actually, I wanna give you ability to create most simplify passwords. We can define how many characters we need in our password. Do we need to big letter or small letter in your password? Yep. In development mode, I wanna disable these functions. I wanna give you ability to create just 1, 2, 3 password. Very simple. Then we will register a model view controller application pattern. It's actually MVC for short as service. Actually make this application as MVC. Actually in our case for now we just open our application, and on the any of our pages on our application we will see just hello world text, but we will include MVC system to our application. Then we will register edit in the 7th episode as NuGet package Swagger. Swagger as service. Yep, Swagger it's a system for documentation our API. Then we must activate this Swagger, activate Swagger UA, actual HTML page, it's system things. Then activate developer exception page. Actually, in our case, we have already activated developer exception page. Then we need to allow allow to use static files from 3w root folder. Yep, in one of previous episodes we created 3w root folder. We hold them, then we place in this folder our bootstrap, another library, and but by default we have no access to this folder, and we need to allow to use this folder. Then we need to create authentication, activate authorization, define default MVC controller routing. For example, when we open example.com /account /register in our application, will runs a register method in the account controller. Actually, our application will find in the controller folders account class, account controller, and inside of this account controller we our application will find register method. And last one, create specific method for creating admin role and admin user in the database. Yep. A short Startup.cs class. Actually, it's already created class, and first I wanna show you just a simple schema for this class. Actually, first we created instructor. It's will be just variable, we created constructor, and inside of this constructor, from the created out-of-box dependency injection system, we will include here configuration variable, and we will write this variable to our configuration variable. Actually, this configuration is actually our application appsettings.json, and inside of it we will take this, we will read this application appsettings.json and write it into the configuration variable. And in this configuration variable, we will have all of these variables, for example, database connection string, or default server IP addresses, or game client version, etc. Great. Then we have configure services and configure methods. In the configure services method, here we will add and configure our application services and register dependency injection for it. In the configure method, here we will configure our application and set up MVC routes. Yep. And last one, this specific create default admin role and admin user. It's actually method we need to create admin role and admin user in database, because if we created our application, we will not have any of users, and if we want to create I don't know, administrator user, we will use this method. Okay, great. And then let me show you all of this full startup class, not short version. It's short version. I talk about all of this, and here I wanna told you about all of this method, or even better, I will not talking about this class, this code inside of my inside of our institute knowledge base. I will open our my created project in the Visual Studio. It's just have I don't know, it will be better. Okay, let me open all of these methods. Great. Yep, it's the same. This code is the same of of this code. Great. No, first of all, we have a using part. It's doesn't interesting. It's not interesting for us. Then here we have this configuration from dependency injection system. It's our appsettings.json, and we will we will write it to our configuration variable. And yeah, great. Then configure services. Configure services, and what we have here, services add transient engine manager. Here we here we register in the dependency injection system our created before engine manager service, yep, as transient. Then we will register our main DB context class actually as in our dependency injection system. It's add DB context pull method, and here we define our database connection string. Here we can see we're using these configuration variables, then a get section method, and here we find a connection string default connection. Let me show you connection strings default connections, connection strings default connection. Actually here we will load this variable, this database connection string. Great. Then we register our identity system. It's our player user. It's our identity role. Actually our player user in the models entities player user is actually inherit from identity user. Great. Then we configure our identity options. It's just what we do here. It's required password length, required unique character chars, required non I don't know. Actually, we create ability to to create a very simple password just for development. Actually, here we add MVC. We actually add MVC pattern in our application. Then we register our Swagger. We added Swagger as NuGet package in one of previous episodes. Great. Then we actually register our Newtonsoft.json. It's also added in previous episodes. Our NuGet package. We need it for serialize and deserialize our JSON request and response. It's all about this configure services method and constructor. And let me show you this configure method. First, we activate Swagger. Here we activate a Swagger UI. Then we add developer exception page. Actually, in our old version, we actually have this if statement, and if it's development, we use a developer exception page. But for short, I will not use it. We just can, if we end our development, we just can comment this part of code. Then we allow access to our 3W root folder. It's use static files. Without this part, we cannot read this folder from our website. Then use routing. It's for our MVC. Then use authentication. Then use authorization. Yeah, we activate authorization and authentication in our application. And then we define our MVC route. It's actually first it's controller, then it's index. What it means? As I said before, let me show you. Yep, this pattern will works next way. To open default website page, our application will try to find the home controller and run the index method inside of it. Yep. actually its default controller will be home controller and default method will be index method. Or in another cases, if we open, as I said before, this example, our website.com, then /account /register, first part it will be our controller, and then will be our method in this controller. Okay, great. In our case, we created home controller and we created no home controller and no index method yet. So if we try to run application now, we will see error 404 page not found. It's okay. We will create these classes in the next episodes. Yep, it's true. After this tutorial, if we start our application, we will see this error, but it's okay. It's all about this. Startup.cs file. It's actually it's actually very important class. This class loads every time we start our application, and it's this class configure our application. Yep. Or I'm sorry, I forgot about this method. Yep, and here we can see this comments section. It's our create default admin role and admin user. It's actually this method. Inside of this method, from the dependency injection system, we include here this service provider variable, and on this service provider we can get access to our role manager and user manager. It's actually here we register our identity, and in this variable, in this service provider, we can get access to our role manager and user manager. Actually, role manager help us to works with roles, and user manager help us to works with user for registration, authorization, etc. Here we have three variables. It's login for new admin, then email for new admin, and password for new admin. It's just login, email, and password. Then we have here boolean variable, a role check. Here we try to find admin role. If admin role is already exists, we will not go into this if statement. But if not, we will create this admin role. And the same here. We will try to find this user with this email. If we have already registered this admin user, we will not go to this if statement. But if not, if we have no users with this admin email, this user check variable will be null, and if it's null, we will actually create this new admin user. We will create it with this login and this email, and then with help our user manager, we will add this new created admin user into our database with this method, and here we will add admin role to our created admin user. Yeah. It's very simple actually. You can read it many times, and it's very simple. We just check, do we have this role now? So create this role. Do we have this admin user? Yeah, No, we don't have. So yeah, create it. So actually we can just we don't must to comment this section. If we will not comment this section, it actually will check it and we can work with it. But this operation, this checking, this role checking and this user checking is, I don't know, maybe will take 1 second and our application will starts every time from 1 second longer. Doesn't matter, but in my case first time I just start application with this method. It's creating this admin role, admin user, and then I just comment this section. I don't need it. Okay, great. It's all about our startup.cs file. Also, I wanna say thank you for our Patreon sponsors. For now, we have first one sponsor. It's Thomas Anderson. If you want to help our project, you can become our sponsors by the link you can see on the screen. And next, we need to make database initialization. For now, we created our application entity model classes like player_user.cs and character.cs. Yep, we created these classes in the models and entities folders in one of previous episodes. Yep, we created database context class main_db_context.cs where we defined our database tables based on our entities. I can go to models and here we can find this main_db_context class, and here we have player users and characters variable, and based on these variables we'll create our database tables. Yep, we store the database connection string in the appsettings.json file and then loaded it in this startup.cs file to the configuration variables. Yep, as I said before, we have appsettings.json. Inside of appsettings.json we have this connection string in the connection string default connections section. Then in our startup.cs file we have this line of code. Here we register our main_db context and we read this configuration get section, and actually here we include our database connection string. Yeah, we also register our main_db_context.cs database context class as our application service in the configure services method in the startup class. Yep, it's true, we actually registered it. But inside of our database server, our database have not created yet. Yep, it's true. And if we try to run some database method, we will see, actually it's mistake, we will see an error. Let's uncomment next row. Yep, I actually talk about this row. If you create this startup.cs class and you uncomment this row, you will see error. If you try to create a new user and new admin role, you will see this error. Yep, its exception actually cannot open database tutorial test db. In my case, the name of my database is tutorial test db. In your case, it can be just test db. It doesn't matter because I just already have this test db database. Yep, we will see error. As you can remember, in the previous episodes, I told you to create a database automatically from our C# model classes. We need to do some magical migration operation. Yep, I told you so. We don't need to create a database just from our hands. We can make a specific magical migration operation, and it will create our database. Yep, to do it we need to first open package manager console. Yep, to open this package manager console we need to go to view, other windows, and package manager console. It's actually view, other windows, and the package manager console. Yep. Great. Then we need to make our first migration. Yep, we need to make this operation, add migration, first migration. But guys, in my case, I already created this database, but I wanna delete this database and make it a step by step for you. I'm waiting until this SQL Server Management Studio loaded. Yep, great. Connect databases, and in our case, I have tutorial test DB database. I wanna delete this database. Okay, yep, I have no database, and let me show you. So I can try to run my application like you without this migration. Oh no, sorry, yep, this will be error, but I forgot about one thing. Yep, stop, and I wanna delete this migrations folder. Yep, because in my case I done this migrations. Okay, great. I uncommented this section and I wanna run my application. As you can see, I have error. Cannot open database. It's normal. It's very normal. It's because we have no database. Then we need to open this package manager console. In my case, I just view other windows, package manager console, and inside of this console, we need to write add migration and then name of my migration. Add migration, first migration. Let me do this. Actually, add migre. I can press tab. Migration. First migration, and I press enter. My migration is already created. Yep, it's build succeeded. Great. And it's in this migration you can see object-oriented view on your database. Great. Then we yep, it's build succeeded. Yep, migration is created. And then after this, we need to wait a minute. We need make next one update database method, and this update database method will create actually our database. Okay, update database. Okay, I write it. Update database, and I press enter. Build succeeded, database created, and actually I can refresh this page, or actually wait a minute, refresh, and yes, in my case I have tutorial test DB, but in my case I can open tutorial test DB, then tables, and here in the ASP.NET users, it's our player users table, I can select all of this, not all, but I can select users, and here we have no users. Actually, we have no admin users. Actually, we can open our SQL Server Management Studio and check new database. Yep, we have new database. Yep, and we have these tables. ASP.NET users is player users table, and the characters dbo characters is our characters table. Okay, great. Then let's see our player users table. Yep, it's empty, no users here. It's great. Now we can uncomment this line of code one more time. Yep, let's try to run. I can close this package manager console. Let's try to run our application one more time with uncommented this section, and our application must be start correctly. Yep, it works. Yep, it's 404 error because we have no controllers, but it works. It have no exception here. And now I can comment or not. It doesn't matter, and I can refresh my table and looks. I have administrator user in my database. Yep. Run our application one more time. Application works. Yes, yeah, we still have error, but it must be. We have no exception. Application works with database. Let's check our player users tables one more time. Yes, we can see here our new user, and we successfully added our first users. Yep. In this tutorial, we actually set up our Startup.cs class and initiate our database. This all for today, and see you next time.